How is everybody doing? I see we have Prepper 101s in the house and Stars Preppers in the house. Bella was here and dropped Freaky Geek. Good to see you. How is everybody doing? I'm sure we got 7 in the house, 13 thumbs up. So tonight is going to be a very interesting night because we're going to start out slow and talking about meals ready to eat. Hey, Dragon, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. The best life. Good to see you. So we're gonna talk tonight, and we're gonna talk about how you can can your own and make your own MREs, and then later on we're gonna be going into some other stuff that is gonna be very interesting. Like, why is the big C trying to take all our food supplies? So Gray will be coming in here later on, and then we are going to be talking about some very interesting stuff. But I'm gonna be talking about about 7 or 8 different meals that you can make that are better than MREs, and you can put them in a can and put them away for storage. Good to see you, Freaky Bing. How is it going? Great to see you. Dragons in the house, best life. Good to see you. Jeff, hey man, how's it going? Awesome to see everybody in the chat tonight. This is going to get very interesting, so please share it out if you haven't hit the thumbs up. The things that I'm going to be talking about tonight are kind of different from what I'm used to. Gray, hopefully when he gets here off of work, we can start to dig into this stuff. It does not look good, what I found out. Gardner Josh, it is awesome to see you. Good to see you. So I see it. YouTube got the notifications out. I'm impressed. Good to see everybody. Outsider, what's up, man? How's it going? So I'm guessing there's going to be a few of us military guys that are going to be in the chat, and we all remember what an MRE is. And we ate a lot of them. And I labeled this one is because MRE stands for Meals Ready to Eat. And I thought about how could I do that differently on the homestead? How can I, instead of grabbing this and this and this and this, and just make one meal ready to eat? So I started looking around. Jimmy, good to see you. First time here. Well, welcome here. Good to meet you, and hope you enjoy what you're going to hear. It gets crazy in here sometimes. So what is it? How can we make meals on the homestead that are ready to eat? So you just take it off the shelf and you would literally heat it up and warm it up. Why would we want to do that? Number one, it takes less resources. Number two, why not do it now when we have everything instead of waiting for a rainy day? There's number two. We want to be less on using our resources when we need those resources. Right now, they're pretty much open game. So it'd be better to have that stuff sitting now and get it done with and then put it on a shelf later on down the road. Long time caller, first time listener. Prepper 101. You're hilarious. All right, I got to pop out chat. Gardner Josh. So I was thinking about this for a while, and I wanted to really understand the concept is how can I, number one, less calorie intake I don't want to be doing something that's going to take more calories to make than what I'm putting into it. That was what I was looking at. So number two, I wanted to be making something that we enjoyed. I'm not going to store up and put away things that are not going to be edible or we don't want to eat or something like that. So I put together a list. I did some research at this for number one to see if I could even do this. And then I've got kind of a nice list of you guys. So we'll see today or tonight. Anybody that's military knows that, back in the day we had, I think there was green eggs and ham. Then you had the old Salisbury steak, and they've came out I think with the next gens of MREs. They have a bunch of different foods in there now. They got vegetarian stuff now. But one thing with MREs is they're packed so much more. Hey, Esmore, how's it going? Seymour. That the gum in there is very important. I'll just tell you that way. If you guys are planning on eating MREs and that's what your stockpile is, make sure that you do not throw that gum away because it's going to be very, very important. Brown wrappers, yeah. Or they're green, actually. Some of mine are green, some of them are brown. Pizza now? I actually did pizza on the Pit Boss last weekend. It was really good. Josh says, Dragon, we are very blessed and gave me a new outlook on things. In Iraq, the first time I ate them, the most of the year for lunch, made sure you drink water or concrete turds. Yep, the gum is actually, Jimmy, what is a laxative. It's more good to see you. I think I said hi before. So in the research that I was doing for the last week and a half, I just want to concentrate on ready-to-eat meals. So for me, that meant how can I put a meal in a canning jar, can it, and put it on the shelf for a rainy day? Oh, King Print, it's good to see you. Hey, Colin, good to see you. So once I figured that out and I got a list of things that I wanted to do, then I started searching for the ingredients and everything like that. So, old man, good to see you. So now what I decided to do is I wanted to break up and do this logically. So I started breaking in. If you guys, last week we were talking about in the morning shows, and I think another time, we're talking calories intake versus what you get in long-term food storage. And then we were looking at how can we add to that to make them last longer. So, Northern Girl in here. Good to see you, Northern Girl. I see somebody saying hello. Oh, I got to turn my top chat off. There we go. Trapper J. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. How's everything going with you? There's Northern Girl. Okay, late night. Glad I'm catching this. It's going to get interesting because I do have some articles that I found later on about the whole thing with, and there was mentioned back before the big C, big red. And if people don't understand the whole concept, the amount of crops and land that the big C owns in the U.S. So we have a debt to them, and a lot of things have been paid through buying and selling. So I have an article that I'm going to be reading off here in a little while. That's going to make people's head just spin. It's crazy what they're planning on doing, but it's all been there before. How many people in the chat live in farmland? Let's start with that. And then how many of those people actually see corn being planted in their area? Hey, Ginger Ninja, good to see you. Because right now I live in one of the areas where we do a lot of commercial food, the stuff that you find at the grocery store. And I've talked to a few other people that are telling the same thing that I'm seeing, is that there's very, very few fields out there that are full of corn. A lot of cow beans and other stuff. So, yep, we're all brothers. Exactly. We'll see if YouTube pushes this out, because I'll tell you what, they got me in a dark hole. They don't like what I'm saying, I think. That's what it is. So any of you guys in here that live next to farm fields, anything like that, have you noticed that cornfields are hard to come by? Yep, Seymour, that's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing so much of the soybeans, but I'm seeing a lot more like cow beans, potatoes. Good to see you there, Ginger Ninja. Yeah, I said hello. Mark, hello. Dragon, Stars, Kingpin, Gardner Josh. Colin says not here in Iowa. Does that mean that you got all the corn you want, or you're not seeing corn, Colin? We get 25 in the house. We got 22 thumbs up. Guys, please remember, hit that thumbs up on the way in and share us out. When Greg gets in here, there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. It should get pretty interesting. Seeing corn everywhere, Colin says. Interesting. Well, that's good. Absolutely, Josh. There's the big one right there. They're eliminating the corn so that they can short the feed market for cattle to push the fake meat agenda. We're going to be talking about that exact same thing. Tennessee Tactical, good to see you, buddy. He snuck in here and I didn't catch it. Yeah, Jimmy's saying less corn so far. When I went hunting there, normally corn, none third year. It's crazy. And that's kind of what we're going to be. The article that I'm going to be talking about is going to explain a lot of what you're seeing. And you guys are going to understand why the food shortages are coming and the whole agenda behind it. And this does really affect the homesteading community as far as us and as a prepper. If you guys haven't seen it yet, if you heard it was, I was talking about it on Gray's channel. I was talking about it with Ghost. So Ghost did a second round of seed planting with the seed vaults and the long-term seeds that you're supposed to get, and for STHF situations or homesteading, so if something would happen, you could actually plant food. So he decided to redo that, and the same thing happened. There was no germination. Everything that he planted in them packs did not come up. So the moral of the story is, guys, is if you are saving seeds, make sure, number one, you're doing heirloom seeds. Number two, make sure that the dates on them and that you actually use them and plant them. So find out what grows best in your area. Use those seeds. You can recollect those seeds and use them again, or make sure that you're getting a reliable resource, because that stuff that they're selling you, them fake seeds, they're spending a lot of money, and you're not going to get nothing out of it. And there's a whole lot of preppers out there in the prepper community right now that are in this boat where they have these stored away. So I hope that people have watched Ghost's video. I hope you guys can tell other people about what we're talking about here, and you can share that out, because people are really going to get a big surprise if they do that. Thanks, Northern Girl, for posting that video. Guys, too, if you're just jumping in and I didn't catch you, just put your stuff in all caps, and hopefully I will see that. You know what? Gray's right. It's harder when you're trying to do this by yourself. Start rolling. Where's the North Shore's in here? Good to see you, buddy. How's it going, Sean? I hope you're not sweating yourself out. Vacuum seal seeds, Northern Girl. You can do that, or Howie has always said too is that you can put them in the freezer. Okay, so what I try to tell everybody is do not plan on having electricity unless you got a Gen 3, a Gen X, or something like that. Solar. If you guys are really looking into getting some kind of solar, go and check out Alaskan Prepper. And he has done a lot of research with the solar generators. Hey, Southern Florida, good to see you. So he has a good idea which ones to get, which ones to use. And I do. I like my tri-fuel. I can pretty much do that no matter what. And I'm happy. Arkman, how's it going? Awesome, Best Life. Switching to heirloom seeds and collecting them and reusing them is such a great thing because you know what you get. And what we're finding out too is some of the seeds that we had that were heirloom aren't right for our area, and they're not doing as well as the other ones. So what I'm going to be doing is this year is the best plants, the best things that we had. That's what we're going to go for. That's what we're going to concentrate on. And like right now, our arugula is going nuts. And we have one batch that's seeding out, so I'm going to collect those seeds, and I won't have to worry about that. I can have my arugula, and that's what we're looking at. Is I want to get you guys to have a great understanding for the seeds that you want, which plant grows best in your environment, and go that route. But do not fall into that whole trap of the old seed vaults, seed banks, long-term seeds. All that stuff is just crazy. Jimmy says, I just bought, that just jumped quick. I just bought a Buki EB240 by 200-watt solar panels. The panels are not supposed to get wet. I just ordered 2 more 200-watt rig panels to go through the Blue Yeti. Okay. North Shore says, murder your plants and grow the seeds next year. Like Go said, my volunteers from last year are doing great. And mine are too, Sean. I got more of my volunteers. Well, not really. But I did get a couple bonus plants. And we're going to be doing a walkthrough. And we're going to show you what's going on and talking about different things with the greenhouse, which plants are doing well, which ones are not doing well. You'll be able to see that. But it is crazy what's going out there right now. And I'm hoping that I can have, hopefully I'll be picking beans within a couple weeks here. They're starting to flower. I noticed that. We're getting pickles already. We're doing a lot of stuff. So, oh, I have that issue. Best Life. There seems to be a lot of that going on. And, at first I'm like, okay, what are they dropping upstairs up in the sky that's stopping our plants from germinating? Because I had my same seeds I had last year that did great. This year they didn't do so hot. I was running and scrapping to find seeds and plants because I needed to get something in the ground. So then I'm thinking, okay, it's, the soil's the same, everything's the same. I do the same annulments to the soil, all that other stuff. I'm like, well, this is really crazy. Hey, Muzzle Flash, good to see you, buddy. How's it going? Great to see you in here. Sean says anybody in his area that needs tomato plants, come and get them now. He needs to get rid of them. It's great to see everybody in the chat. Guys, make sure that you hit that thumbs up too, please. I'd appreciate that. I got YouTube. YouTube's got me in a hole. It must not like what I talk about or something. I don't know. Oh, well, I'll get over it. I'm not that way. So let's get back to these meals, ready-to-eat meals. Let's go through this list of what I found out that you can literally can and put on your shelf. So everything on this list, Heaven's Essentials, good to see you. How you doing? So my list for doing this, guys, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get everything together that I know, number one, that can be canned. Number two, I knew that it could be stored for long periods of time. Number three, I was looking at what people were going to really want to strive and to get to. So I wasn't going to put up something that somebody in our family wasn't going to like. So number one, I don't know if you guys know what bannock is, but if for us, I'd go out and play in the woods in the middle of wintertime, it is a dough. So pretty much what it is flour, baking powder, and water and your favorite seasonings, and you wrap it around a stick and you can cook that on an open fire. Very easy. So the first one that we can and put away is going to be breakfast sausage. Sean's in here. He did a one with breakfast sauces not too long ago. We have chicken, so we can have eggs and obviously bannock. So there you have a nice breakfast that you can put together, and you can put the sausage on itself. You have that put away. You can, if you have eggs, I mean, you can do the glazing of eggs, so you can store eggs. You can do hard-boiled eggs, and you can put them up in jars. So there's ways you can do that. If you don't have chickens and you're going to buy them from the store, there is ways that you can preserve eggs for long periods of time. And like I said, bannock is really a very good, easy way to do it. Sean says, the first thing I ever pressure canned was breakfast sausage. That is awesome. So then the next one that I was looking at is beef stew. So if I remember right, I saw Ghost will be doing this weekend. They're going to be canning beef stew. So you guys can go check that out. But I have some on the shelf. It stores very well. And you can do that pretty simple. Yeah, egg glassing works really good. So the next one is chili. I figured everybody on a cold, especially here in the Northwoods, everybody likes a bowl of chili in the wintertime or whatever else. You can do a starter chili, and you can can that, put it up, and add more to it as you warm it up. So if you've got your veggies and stuff that you want to throw in, you can do that. Or you can throw the whole shebang in there, and you have that all set up and ready to go. So chili is the top ones on the list. And then, of course, if there's sickness, health, everything else, everybody knows chicken noodle soup is one of what our grandparents gave to us when we were young, when we felt really bad. It was always back to the chicken noodle soup. I have it on my shelf right now. It is a great resource to have. It is simple and easy. And then we're going to be talking about smaller portions here and little big guys. And I found out some things that is really cool. You don't need a big old pressure canner if you guys don't have a canner, and you have a pressure cooker with the canning option. We'll be talking about that later. All right, the next one is going to be Salisbury steak. I know back in the day, that was a huge one with, if you ever got the TV dinners, the Salisbury steak was really good. And that was always in there. You can make Salisbury steak and make it out of the hamburger, your seasonings, all that stuff, gravy, the whole 9 yards, mushrooms, put it up on the shelf, and you have Salisbury steak. So then the next one is chicken fajitas. So we just recently I did some chicken, and with the fajita seasoning, cubed it up. I put it on the shelf, and all you got to do is warm it up, tear it up, and you have that. And here comes the bannock in again. You can make the bannock out on an open fire. Guys, if you haven't noticed, bannock, you can actually, if you got a nice fire, you can push your ash off to the side, and you have that hot bed of coals. You can lay your bannock right in the coals, cook your bannock, dust it off. Ash is not going to harm you one bit. And you would have your chicken fajita with your bread and everything else. Very simple one for those that need that secondary heat source. Pot roast. Pot roast is another one. You can use pork, you can use beef, you can do whatever you want, cube it up, and you can have your pot roast. Your potatoes will can up. If you have canned potatoes on the shelf, all that good stuff. It's a great one for the pantry. Another one is pork and sauerkraut. Up here, anybody that's German, anybody on the north side, pork and kraut, it's one of the essentials that we grew up with. Both of them can be canned, and you can have that as an actual meal. And then this one was turkey, just because I'm going to be doing a whole turkey here on the Pit Boss, and I will show that video here soon. And you can take that one, and we found out that we can make it nice and moist, full of flavor, smoke it on a Pit Boss, bring it in, and can it up, and then we have fresh turkey. Beef tips and gravy is another one here that everybody, if in the old days you remember grandma putting the bread down and then they put the beef tips on there and you pour gravy all over it. Same thing, you just put the bannock down, put your beef tips down, and then your gravy over the top. Same concept. It's a lot of the same thing. Pork and kraut was a weekly meal. Oh man, yeah, it is here. And I make my own sauerkraut. I make my homemade sauerkraut that they did way back in the day, and that's one of those things that I really enjoy. I like making it as much as I like eating it. Here's one that a lot of people, so all my military guys that are in here, we all know the old C rations. We all heard the horror stories. I was actually lucky enough to try one from way back in the day. And beans and franks, you can actually can that up. All you do is you can do kielbasa, smoke ring sausage, whatever you want to do, fry it up, get as much of that grease out of there as you can, and go get your favorite can of baked beans, add them together, and then you can can that up. And then you have franken beans. The next one is going to be cheesy potato soup. I love my potato soup. I think it's very delicious. You can add some of the stuff that you want. Stuart W., good to see you. Beef and tips, what do you say, is a great way to drop in the beef tips and gravy is a great way to drop in a live chat. Yum. Yeah, it is. It's a good one that I really enjoy. It has a bunch of really good flavor to it, and it's like one of the best things around. And you got to remember too, guys, is you're looking for calorie intake, and the best way so that you're not burning that calories to make it. Because if something does happen where you're reaching for this stuff, you got to look at how you're cooking it, and are you going to burn more calories than what you're putting in? And what's really great of this is that if you guys are prepping and you have long-term food storage, you can add to this to your main dish. So you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. It's going to get spread out so much farther that way. And that's what's cool about this. So that is my list so far. And I'm sure I'm going to be adding to the list as I try more things and try different things. Glassing of eggs to have fresh eggs is a great way of doing things. Hard-boiled eggs that you can. Shawnee, good to see you. Yeah, cheesy potatoes. So for those people that don't have the big canner, I was telling you that I was going to tell a little secret here. I found out that on my power cooker, I can. And I tried it last night. I can fit 3 quart jars in there at a time. So you have electric canner. So if you guys have one of them pressure cookers, go and check out if you can actually can with it. There should be a canning setting on there. So I was doing some research and I was talking with other people, and I found out that they hold that 170 degree temperature in the kill zone to get rid of the bacteria and everything else. So you can actually use these things. So it's really nice is if you don't have the big pressure canners, or let's say you're finishing a meal of pork and kraut and you have some left over, you can put that in your pressure canner, set it up, walk away, and let it do its thing, and wake up in the morning and take it out. It's a great way to finish off your meals. Oh, the other thing that we were going to do was Swedish meatballs. There's another one, is we're going to make those, and that way we had that. And I am also checking on, because there's some of us, I was thinking for another breakfast would be biscuits and gravy. Everybody likes the old sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Broccoli potato soup, Dragon, that would be real. I got a lot of that as a long term, but yeah, that would be really good too. But the ones that I found so far on this list, I 100% know that this can get canned and be put up. And that's what I was looking to get out to you guys, is I wanted to make sure that I built this list that I know that this can be done. So far, brats was another one. So everybody, if you haven't seen Rudy from Alaska Prepper, he did the whole thing with brats. He did with the casings on. He took the casings off, the whole 9 yards. So you also can do brats. Obviously, Sean did breakfast sausages, so brats can be done too. But it was really neat when I found out that you can use a pressure canner for leftovers. So if you're making chicken noodle soup and you got some left over, and or you make that big old pot and that everybody's had their fill for the week or whatever, and you're like, what am I going to do with this stuff? And we're back in the day, we're thinking, oh, we'll just freeze it. Well, now we got to think outside that box. So really think about that. If you have that pressure canner or pressure cooker, and you have the canning option on there, you can easily put them 3 quarts in there of soup, drop it in there. Dwayne, how's it going? Good to see you. And boom, you got it. You got meals, and you don't, so a lot of people were asking, well, how can you do this, and how do you get all this stuff? It's saved up, and these batches are so big and everything else. That's what's kind of cool about if you have the old pressure cooker, because with that option, you can take your leftovers, put it in a jar, and put it on the shelf. No work involved. They're simple, easy. They do everything for you. Bread, $10. Score. Bread baker. Okay, that is awesome. The other thing, guys, that I want to tell you that I found out here today, which really kind of was a shocker, is I did the research. I went and looked to make sure before I even said anything. If you guys remember last year with the canning shortage, well, that is coming up again. And now the company that's making the jars is having a hard time getting out. The demand is not, the demand is overwhelming. So there is a shortage on the jars. Now, these people are saying that we're not going to be able to find jars by the end of summer. Last year, I remember, it was so hard to find lids. I happened to grab 2 cases of lids the year before, so I was set. This year, I'm having a terrible time finding cases. Lids. I can find lids with rings. I cannot find lids by themselves. So then I went and looked and did some more research, and the Big C, the Big Red C, has a bunch of lids that you can get, but a lot of people are finding out that they're very flimsy. They're not sealing correctly. So the off-market, not the ball and the Kerrs, but these ones that are off-brand, are having a huge issues. Yep, Dragon jars are in abundance. I find the jars here. I can find them brand new with jars and lids. But like he said, I cannot find lids anywhere. Mitz, what's going on, buddy? How's it going? Family time, I understand, bud. No problem. I'm having a huge time finding just lids. I can find lids and rings. I can buy brand new jars, but I cannot just get plain lids. So there is a way. I was watching Rudy over there in Alaska Prepper, shows you how to remove your lid without wrecking it so you can reuse it. Now, Jess from Keto Homestead, I don't know if it was her or who I actually watched, was actually putting marks on their lids so they would use them 3 times and they would get rid of them. But they used black magic marker and they would write on the lid with a mark, and that way they knew how many times they used that lid, which was really good. So Sam, what are you talking about, Sean? North has the compass upside down, right, rolling. A northern girl. That's more, but who wrenched me? LOL. I wrenched you a long time ago, Seymour. Hey, there's Emily. Good to see you. That's Jimmy. That's really good. Yeah, the jars. I'm finding tons of jars right now. Not a problem. But if you already have jars, you don't need jars. You just need the lids. That's where this problem is coming in hand, and that's what really stinks right now. I gotta somehow make my chat bigger so I can see what you guys are saying here. Ooh. There we go. A little better. Dragon says if you have the vacuum sealer, you can also get the attachment to reuse lids for dry canning. Yep, I got that. I do that also. I think I showed that on Gray's, one of Gray's lives, that little attachment that you can get for the vacuum sealer. Vacuum sealers are really nice. My mylar sealers, the vacuum sealers, are all great ways of doing things. The problem that I'm looking at, guys, is that I do not want to depend on electricity. The last thing that I'm looking at here is how many installations have been hit, but with the high temperatures in the west, the drought, all that other stuff, it's only a matter of time before the grid starts to get hit. And that is going to be a huge thing, and it's going to affect a lot of people. People have thrown out those dates of July 9th, and then I've heard in August, all this other stuff. I haven't been able to tie down what exactly is going to go on and what's going to happen. So I really haven't been talking so much about, but those dates have been brought up. Stuart, what the heck? Timer on the other side doesn't start till you try to chat. I know what you're talking about, Stuart. And Dwayne, that's exactly what I've been saying is we have to learn what they did in the Depression. And now Gray has been doing a lot of stuff, and he's been doing a lot of the research in that area of the Great Depression. And he's finding out that, they had food, they had this, they had that. It was housing. Now, what do we have? What are we seeing here? Laura, hey everyone, I'm here. That is great. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, Mark, more companies have been hit than we know. We don't hear about it because they aren't paying the ransoms. I wouldn't doubt it. Guys, I'm going to be right back. Please hang on. I got to let my doggies out. Come on, guys. Come on, football. I know I'm going to have to run back, but all right, I'm back. Fox is in the house. I see it. Tulsa, certainly trying to buy ends of the season when they're going on sale. I have bought them when they've done that, and I found out real quick that I do that like with shirt gel and stuff, because in the wintertime that stuff goes real cheap. Summertime, it's like crazy high. Unbelievable what they're trying to do with that. Fox is in here. All right, well, what I'm going to read here, guys, is some things that some of them are disturbing, some of them are not. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting here is, like I said, was talking about China. So the big C used words U.S. embargo. So if we understand, Jimmy, I'm going to be on for a little while. I probably get off at midnight, or it depends on when Gray gets up here, if he's still coming up or not. It might go longer. Hey, Jess. Jess is in here. Where'd my chat go? Yep. Jess is here. Cool. So I'm going to read this, and for two reasons. We all know what China, or I shouldn't say that, the big C has been trying to do. And this is going to fall into the food shortage that everybody's been hearing about. And I really think this is so important, because if we don't start depending on ourselves. So one of the things that I heard, and like I said, I have not found 100% proof on this yet, is that when I think, if I'm right, is if martial law comes in effect, there was a statement that was made that they can literally come in your home, grab your supplies, and say that we're going to distribute it through the community. That's a huge red flag. Well, that is trying to get passed as we speak right now, and that has to fall onto what's going on. So let's look at this in a bigger picture. They put something out, like we were looking at Google Trends today, and I just happened to look in to see gardening, prepping, and canning. Canning right now on Google Trends is at 170%. And now they can track that by state, by day, by minute. So that's pretty interesting. But this article that I want to read, it says the former colleagues in intelligence community for many years working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force has convened to me that the Big C government officials has used the phrase industrial embargo. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to look up the definition of embargo, what it really means. All right. So when you go and you look at Google and you look up industrial embargo, the definition is an embargo is a government order that restricts commerce with a specified country or the exchange of specific goods. An embargo is usually created as a result of an unfavorable political or economic circumstances between nations. It is designed to isolate a country and create difficulties for the governing body, forcing it to act on the issue that led to the embargo. Key takeaways: an embargo is a government order that restricts commerce with a specified country or to exchange of specific goods. Let me ask the question, guys, when you guys hear that. Right now, how much of the percentage of our goods and services come from the Big C? Think about that. So, back to this article. China official wondered aloud to the U.S. counterparts if the United States would have to face a C-imposed embargo of industrial goods to cause the U.S. to back away from Taiwan. Mark, too much? What's too much? I miss. Where'd my chat go? What are you talking about, Sean? Hang on, I gotta let my dog back in. Let's see what Sean said. Dragon. Thing to remember is martial law. The military will only be able to control major cities, not enough current service members to put the entire country under lockdown. That is correct, Dragon, but remember what we signed. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. All right. You're absolutely right, Sean. Too much of our stuff comes from over there. South Florida, what seeds are you having a problem with growing? If Greg gets in here, he's in Florida. He is also having some issues. All right. So where was I? So China, Big C stops all industrial imports coming out of the mainland to the U.S. This could even do an export embargo on stuff coming out of the big Taiwan. This would trigger an industrial and economic collapse in the U.S. before a single shot is fired. If you recall your World War II history, our strong industrial base was a reason we won World War II. We do not have the skills or the industrial capacity to do that again. We absolutely are in very precise or prescriptive situation. The Navy can't keep up with maintaining on the ships and subs during peacetime. How can they do that going on a swing war to maintenance and repair? I chose to pass this to my subscribers for them to decide if they need to build up their hobby machine shop. So this is where I got this article from. My preference of purchasing tools, he tells what kind of tools he wants, but then I got into something that made my eyes just about pop out. And that was the food exchange. And he talks about certain lockdowns and stuff like this. But right now, China's ports are plugged tight with buying food. They're just putting it in there. That really makes me nervous because a lot of that is what should be going in people's bellies. Seymour, can I mail it? Absolutely. You'll find if you go into my About page, you will find my email there. And you can email me there at any time. Yeah, Jimmy, they can't feed their people. Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm beat.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So how'd you like that report?
What?
Did you hear the report that I read?
Yeah. I think. I don't know. When did you read it?
About 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. My brain cells are done today. They're just done shut off.
Well, see, like me, I got a 3-day weekend now, so I can recuperate.
Yeah, I'm going to have to recuperate from being on the road for I don't even know how long we were on the road anymore.
I found out another really good interesting thing is I found out how to can mushrooms. It's like the ones that everybody loves in little jars.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Well, I'm curious to hear about that because what I do is I go to the store and I get the huge cans, the like number 10 cans.
Yeah.
And then I just recan them like I do my mustard. I just process them into smaller jars.
Like water bath them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you find out?
Take fresh mushrooms.
Uh-huh.
Wash them very good. Obviously, they're in neutral dirt, but you want to get all of that off of there. And then you blanch them for 2 minutes. Put them in your jars with a little bit of salt and can them like we normally would. And then you have that nice, you know what you're getting. So that was kind of cool. I found that. But the other thing, guys, is if you are a creator, YouTube has just came out. And if you guys have noticed, and I'm sorry for those people that are outside in our community and aren't able to chat, there is a new button on YouTube that says that only your subscribers can chat. So you have to be subscribed. Their set default is 5 minutes. So you have to be a subscriber of the channel for at least 5 minutes in order to communicate on the chat. So if you guys are out there watching and you're trying to chat and you see that pop up, that's the reason behind it. And that is the fact that is going to be able to help to stop the trolls from destroying your live streams.
Hey, Prepper 101.
Just is that you or Mark? Oh, it's
Huh?
what was he talking about?
I don't know. I'm lost. I was trying to catch up in the chat.
It's going to be North Shore. It's going to be canning them.
Me and Muzzle Flash is in the chat speaking Spanish. It's funny. Hola, Muzzle Flash. Dragon. Well, just got checked off on Chinese fire drills today with her trip. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Pressure can mushrooms. Yep. Heaven Essentials. You got that right. Oh, S-More email address. You can find that.
Yeah, I posted S-More. I posted Mark's email address in the chat to you. That was Mark's email that I tagged you in.
Pressure canning North Shore. The one that Jess was talking about, she does the water bath because she's buying the big number 10 cans and them are already pre-cooked. So you don't have to do that. But if you're using raw fresh, I would pressure can them. I'm going to have to start to put a delay on my chat so I can read what these guys are saying.
I know. I'm trying to read too, and it's like jumping on me. And like I said, my brain ain't working right now. So I just had to wrestle some animals. I can't wait for everybody. So, Mark, you don't even know what I was up to today, did you?
Nope.
So hopefully I ain't doing it tonight, but tomorrow I'll edit my video and put it up so everybody can know what I'm doing. I did a road trip. I went to Kentucky today, Mark, and I went live for a little bit and didn't really let anybody know what I was doing or where I was going. So it's kind of a surprise for everybody to see tomorrow. But it has to do with animals and me wrestling them. So
I'm going to be wrestling the week of the 12th. I'm going to be wrestling 20 new baby chicks.
Yes, I'm excited. What kind did you end up getting?
I got the Australorps and the Russian Brahmas, like I always.
Awesome.
Did you get an emu?
No, heck no.
Things spit at you.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need nothing like that can kick me and knock me clear across the homestead.
Muzzle Flash, can you can magic mushrooms for barter items? I just go pick them fresh in the woods. I guess I could.
It's so funny. In the best life. So, like, Bomber Steve. Do you know Bomber Steve, Mark?
Yeah, he's the one who used to edit and make your intros, right?
No,
Or no?
no. Bomber Steve is a homesteader in Australia, and he had put out a video about an emu. He went to a friend's, and the emu like beat the crap out of him, and I couldn't help it, but I lost it. I was like hysterical, snorting, laughing, and this has been like an inside group to everybody that was on that live at this point. So like everybody always talks to me about emus now.
No muzzle flash. I don't. 1975 Lima decoration. Decoration? No. Declaration.
Thank you, Northern Girl Hobbies.
Tennessee Tech. Can you can cannabis?
Hey, Tennessee Tactical.
I don't know. We can't have that yet, so they're working on it. But
I don't know about canning. Well, you could can it to keep it fresh. I know about baking it.
Forest says we slice cucumbers and put them in the mason jars. Put them in the fridge. How long should they last? If you're doing like freezer pickles, or if refrigerator pickles, I don't know if you're just doing basic cucumbers.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like he's doing refrigerator cucumbers or pickles. I would say a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've had them in there for a couple of weeks or longer.
Yes, North Shore says you can dry can the cannabis. Yeah, that's what I do, Jimmy Nickens. I have a really hard time canning pickles. I can't find a recipe that I like. Vlasic pickles are the only pickles I really enjoy eating. So I save all my pickle juice from my Vlasic pickles, and then when the cucumbers are coming in, I just put them in that.
You got to get a hold with Moon, and we did. I actually got the recipe now for like the Chicago style pickles. She wanted some of them. I make all different kinds of pickles.
Tennessee Tactical says I'm going to be missing air conditioning. Just go find a spring and sit in it.
It's going to start to be 90 here starting tomorrow. So it's by 10 o'clock, it's already going to be in the upper 80s. It's going to be a miserable weekend. So did you hear my list that I talked about?
No.
I'm thinking, and I'm really starting to like the Salisbury steak. And then I'm thinking I can do mushrooms in there, fresh mushrooms, and have Salisbury steak and mushrooms.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it does. Gravy, and I actually found a lot of people are asking me if you can noodles and pressure can noodles. I found a way to do it.
Really?
Yep.
How?
What?
How?
You have to have the wide egg noodle, and you put it in there dry. Don't cook it. And when you already made your chicken and your soup base and all that stuff. So when you pressure can that, your noodles will then become good. They're not all nasty, soggy.
And you actually canned it?
No, not yet. We're going to.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting.
But I figured, look at what you can buy in the store. You can get noodles at the store. There had to be a way to do it. Some folks can the brain noodles. Freaky. Okay. Muzzle says in the 1975, let's put this up here, was the UN advantage of the rich Western countries to move reconnaissance and manufacturing to poor countries. Interesting.
Freaky Geek says, I feel sorry for those who can water and have no water left for rehydration.
I feel sorry for people that have to can water.
I can water for sanitation, for sterile water.
So South Florida, what is the best way to prep for possible hurricane? I hope Gray's probably listening on the way home. He should be in here now. He is also from Florida. And I know anybody that's a mod in there, go grab Gray's channel. He just did a video here not too long ago about preps for hurricanes and what to put up. If someone can find that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say when, not to be rude or anything, but when Gray comes up, I am going to bed.
I'm hoping he comes up before midnight. I don't know what he said he was going to try. So Dragon, you said why not dry can the noodles and just add them during the reheat final cook? I thought I was going to do that, but if we totally look at calories versus resources, and that's the bottom line, what do you have to do to recook that? And everything that you do, every move you make burns your calories, and you want to make sure that the calories taken in is more than calories burned. That's what I'm looking at. Is I just ready it, and then you give less of a signal off, like Jess was talking the other day to me. If I got a big old fire going and I got to use that to heat up a pot of stew or something like that, that can get smell from miles away. So that's less resources I got to burn. That's less energy that I got to burn, as I can just pretty much go and grab that and away I go.
Freaky Geek says, I mean dehydrate water, not can it. Dang, I messed that up big time. Thank you, Stuart W.
Emily, thanks for putting up the Gray Man's link there for that. So,
hey, Emily.
Here we go. So South Florida, as my buddy Gray, you can check. There's his link right there. It's right above your last comment. Go and check out what he's talking about. If I was in a hurricane, number one would be water. Number two is I'd be looking for, I'm guessing electricity, all that stuff is going to be out. So generators are going to be an important thing, especially if you got freezers and stuff like that running. You're going to want to have something to do that down there. Obviously, air condition. Yeah, Dragon. I don't know. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see how it works, I guess. And they're telling me that I can do it. So we're going to give it a shot. And it was funny because it was only egg noodles. You couldn't use any other noodles. So I don't know if they're stronger or what.
Emily says she's dragging with me.
I'm dragging. I'm the one working 10-hour days.
Well, you're used to it.
Not really. I'm getting older.
Who was I talking to today? I can't remember. Somebody was talking. Oh, Australia. Somebody in Australia I was talking to today. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But they were talking about how they're over there forcing forced droughts as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sean, that's what Jess told me too, is you can't can rice. I was thinking the same thing. I can make some cheesy potato rice and stuff like that, or chicken and rice or something like that. But I found out that turns to mush. Seymour, got to get to bed. Butchering chickens at 5 a.m. to beat the heat. Take care, my friend. I'm going to be cooking chicken tomorrow, and we're going to be canning chicken sometime here this weekend. Got to get that chicken in.
I'm not doing nothing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm sleeping.
I'll call you every 5 minutes, and after that, I'll call you every 2.
You better not. I'll just unplug the house. I'll unplug the phones. I want to shut it.
And I'll start calling Messenger and everything else.
No, that's a bad thing though. Like once your body's set on a schedule, I'll say I'll sleep all day, but I'll be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, just like I am every morning.
Yeah, Sean. I was finding out though, they were telling me that I got my Great Dane, that the best food. Hey, Ghost, good to see you.
Hey, Ghost.
Ice is always the one thing that is high in demand. Hurricane happens during the hot months. That's a good point. Not a bad idea. I've been lucky.
Sorry.
I've never had to. What?
Did you see North Shore's comment about the rice?
Turn into mush or the dogs?
Yeah, for the dogs.
Yeah, I was just saying they tell me that I'm supposed to cook Apollo chicken and rice. That's the best thing. And I'm like, that can get really expensive in a big hurry. Yeah, Tennessee tactical tornado season's coming up. You're exactly right. That's April, May for us. We should be in the clear now.
Night miscellaneous.
I'm actually shocked I got off early. Judy, hello. Good to see you. So what did Dragon say about Cannon? What?
Hi, Judy. Welcome. Tennessee Tactical.
I guess, the best thing that you could do is actually just try it. Now that I found out that I can use a pressure cooker and that I can put 3 quarts in there, I might actually just try it to see what happens. Put it in hard and can it, see what happens. I don't think you have to go for the full, go 35 minutes and be done with it. See how it turns out.
Good night, Northern Girl Hobbies.
Take care.
Muzzle Flash is asking, is 12 fertilized eggs for $20? What's AUD mean? A good deal?
Yeah. $12. I don't know. I don't buy eggs. I have my own. I go to MRE Chicken Hatchery to order all my birds, and then I get them actual live. So that's how we're going to do our stuff.
I don't know. I always, if I need chicken eggs or fertile eggs, I always barter for them if I can't produce them myself. Australia dollar. That's what that means. Okay. Thank you.
So Judy, tomorrow night, can Ghost or somebody drops Ghost a link in the chat for me. He's actually, I think they're going to be doing beef or roast. They're going to actually can that up. So you can actually learn how to watch it that way. Canning is very, what was really interesting in an article that I read is that they're blaming the shortage once again on the Big C because everybody was stuck at home. And now that they're canning because everybody's getting worried that there's not going to be any food around. So it was kind of an interesting bubble. And Ghost, you missed it. I talked about the whole long-term seed issue. So if you guys are just popping in here or just listening and you have those long-term seeds that are 25 plus, you best try to plant them. Their North Shore put up Ghost link, so they're going to be doing that on Saturday night. You guys can go and you can watch and learn how to do that.
His canning is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, Tennessee Tactical, it has really been a bunch of crap.
The Best Life is asking, do you worry about you going? You're going to have young birds during going into winter.
My main coop, one of the books that the birds that I ordered were Australops and Russian Brahmas, so they're already a cold weather bird. And the little coop where we're going to be raising these is insulated and everything else, and we do the whole geothermal. I can get my coop runs up to, I think I had it up to like 40 degrees and 17 below.
Hey, Mark, can you read your message?
Ooh. Private message or what?
I don't know. It's not from me. It's from Gray Man.
Gray?
Mm-hmm.
Gray's in here?
No, he's not in here. He just messaged me to tell you to read your messages. That's awesome, Judy. You're excited finally moving out of the city. I'm excited for you. My dad just moved out of California.
All right, buddy.
Him.
You're stuck till midnight, Jess. Firefly, good to see you.
Dwayne wants to know, how safe is rainwater to drink?
All right, well, if you're using like a Berkey or some kind, I would filter it, Dwayne, because if you know what's up in the sky, what's going on there, it follows down. I have steel roof. My grandparents back in the day, they used to water their gardens and everything like that. But with the chemtrails that are up there now and everything coming down, I would still filter it. I would, no matter what, because right now you do not know what they're putting up there.
Tennessee Tactical. I would love to can Angus or ribeye gold in a jar. Actually, when I was driving today, I was just scrolling through Facebook, and there was a video. He was a chef. I can't remember where he was from, the Mid East or something like that. But he was canning ribeye steaks, whole ribeye steaks with tomato, like the little round cherry tomatoes. He put bay leaves in there. I'm going to have to go back and see if I can find that video. It was really interesting. I don't personally think I would want to waste a ribeye steak that way. But it did look really good, and it was a very interesting video.
And this is for Doug in Florida. So here's your Ready Wise Foods. It used to be called Wise Foods. Now they switched it to Ready Wise Foods. I've had a few of these, and the ones that I had were actually really good. I can't complain. I don't know about those though, because these right now are looking to be, I want to probably say 7 or 8 years old. Before they turned, it was Wise Food, and now I think me and Gray were looking at it. It's called Ready Wise Foods now, so they just changed their name.
Have you actually dug into that and tried it? Ate any of it?
Yeah, I've had some.
Okay.
Like I said, with all of this stuff, like you guys are getting here, it's the best thing that you can do is supplement it with something. So if you're canning your own meats, you can take that meat and you can add it to this. That's the key behind it. I'm looking at what I have, and I'm putting more things up that I can just grab a can of meat and add to it. It's going to be more beneficial. It's going to be more filling, and it's going to be a lot more to what you're used to. Because no matter how we look at it, guys, when we switch over to this kind of stuff, if you haven't been eating this, like MRE is the first time that you guys have an MRE, the first one is kind of the second one, okay, the third one, and by that time you heard Jimmy was in here. He says you get plugged up like a totem pole. Your body needs to get used to that, and you have to get used to what you eat. So what's really nice about canning, homesteading, is it's a renewable resource. So you're always using it, bringing it up forward, making new stuff, putting it to the back. That's the concept behind it. What's the dragon talking about?
I don't know. I'm trying to catch up. Everybody is writing like full paragraphs in the chat tonight. Best Life is saying, I have only had Mountain House freeze dry. They taste good, but after 3 days when hunting, it started messing with my stomach. Some people are talking about incubating chickens.
I've had that same problem, and I'm not one. I've tried Mountain House twice, and both times I've had bad experiences. So I've stayed away from Mountain House. It's a good topic. Folks have stuff to say. Absolutely, Sean. I get blocked every time I try writing a book. I think it's like 200 words or less. They're freaky. You got to watch that. Yeah, Tennessee Tactical, like I said, what's really cool is if you guys are checking out pressure cookers, make sure that they have the canning function, because you can do 3 jars of quarts in that. So you can take your leftover food and you can put it and you can can it and put away for a rainy day. That's a great way. Especially don't count on them freezers and stuff like that, because you're going to have to burn so much resources to keep that going. Fox, you got an iron gut, and I thought I could eat anything. I'm not one with Mountain House.
What is that? Look at Dwayne's comment. I'm trying to look it up.
I don't know what was it.
It was like I can't say the word, but I remember it. It's like a hardtack. I don't know. It lasts for forever and ever and ever, and it's like a biscuit or something like that, but really really hard. And they would eat it. I think it was like the Civil War era when they would make that for the soldiers, and then it would last forever and they would eat it.
Paste or dried or pounded meat mixed with melted fat and other ingredients, originally made by North American Indians and later adapted by the Arctic explorers.
Okay, there you go.
A mixture of tallow, dried meat, and dried berries that is used as a nutritionist food.
I thought they put like a berry in there as well.
Yeah, they got dry berries in there too.
Oh, okay.
So more or less is like a Nutribar. All right, guys, before this gets out of hand, this is the other article that I wanted to read. And this one was called Controlled Demolition of the United States and Western World Through State-Sponsored Unconventional Warfare. State-sponsored false flags, terrorism, psychological warfare, trauma-based mind control. Events such as 9/11 were staged by the U.S. and Israel governments as a pretext as a global war on terrorism has expanded war against domestic civilian populations. 9/11 served as a pretext to a role of Global Phoenix program developed by the CIA and developed in the Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Latin American wars. So when I was reading this article, and I will share that because I can. Here's that article, guys, right here. Very interesting article. So it describes a lot of things that we are seeing. Economic warfare includes the secret theft over $50 trillion from the DoD and HUD along since 1998. Chemical, biological, and physiological warfare, and you can see what was number 1 on the list right here. So a lot of this information, you can go check this out. I will drop the link in the chat and you can read this. I thought it was a very interesting read. Not really, but I mean, there's a lot of good information in there. I lost my chat again. Where did that go? I think a lot of you guys that are interested in that kind of stuff and reading between the lines would really appreciate that article. It's definitely one that I had to go back and read twice. Yeah, Freaky, if you click on that link, you can pull it up and then you can actually see the chat and stuff like that. All right, guys, it's midnight. Been on for 2 hours. I want to thank everybody so much for coming in and joining me on such a short notice. Usually I don't have off, which is cool that I was able to talk to you guys. I hope you all have a safe and blessed 4th of July and that you're able to have as much fun as possible. And, of course, if you're in the heat, stay cool. Or if you're in the cold, stay warm. You guys are the best. I want to thank each and every one of you. You guys all take care. God bless. And we'll see you soon.
Happy 4th.